already into it, or are we going to do an intro?
No, we should do an intro.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. You want me to do it?
Yeah.
Welcome to another episode of our Adventures in Middle Earth.
We should say your adventures in Middle Earth.
My adventures in Middle
Yeah.
Earth, because you haven't been adventuring.
No.
You know, you
I've
missed.
been out of the world in a while.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the last event I went to was Nova. It is.
Yes,
actually.
it is. Yes.
Wow.
Well,
It's only been one.
there's only one event between then and now, so. And I have my sword here, my Witch King sword.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta find a spot. I gotta fix up my basement so that I can like hang these like
Yeah, it's very
swords and stuff.
barren down
Like
here.
it's just
stuff
it's
everywhere,
just
but
rough.
not put up anywhere.
Yeah. I'll lean that there. Hopefully it doesn't fall over and cut my toe off or something.
It's not sharp enough for that.
No, not really. So yes, we are here on October 12th.
Yep.
And I forget now how long it's been since Nova, like September 1st or so, right?
Yeah, it was a long weekend.
Yeah, so it's been over a month.
Mhm.
And we had one event since then here in the OSBGL in Ontario.
Yep.
Well, sorry, we had actually two events in Ontario, one
Yeah.
OSBGL and one OHA. We'll
Oh,
talk quickly
yeah,
about the
yeah,
OHA
yeah.
after we talk about this one. So it was on September 15th,
Mhm.
and it was called To St. Catharines and Back Again.
Okay.
And it was
Hobby event?
ELIA.
Well, yeah. But it was a hobby event, right?
It was a hobby event, which means it's an 80-point tournament as opposed to a 100-point. And it was the first time she'd run an event. It was at a store called Phoenix Rising in St.
Okay.
Catharines, which was like right downtown, kind of like on, I think, their sort of main street.
Okay.
Really good store.
I didn't get to
Huge,
go.
huge gaming area, yeah.
Yeah,
But unfortunately, you missed out.
I know.
I forget why. I think you probably had to work
It was.
because it was still in the hot season.
It's always, yeah, I know, it's like a week or a month ago it was hot. Actually,
No.
earlier this week, it was
It
shorts
was.
and t-shirts weather.
It was, yeah.
And it was in one day, I think it was Wednesday, or no, Thursday, it went from
Air conditioning calls to
20,
furnace calls.
24 degrees in the morning to 8 degrees at night over one day. I remember I started a job and it was wearing like t-shirt and pants, and then
Yeah.
at the end of it I was wearing a sweater and a jacket.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But you weren't able to go, but the
No.
two Andrews and I went.
Yeah, my sister got married like the
Oh,
weekend
that's
after
right,
or
yeah,
whatever, so I wasn't able to take the time off.
Yeah. So, little Andrew Scott,
Yeah.
he came with us. This is his first tournament back since this summer. He doesn't usually go to the tournaments in the summer. He's a young guy, plays on a football team, so he's
Has a job.
Yeah, he's been busy. So he was back and he ran all-mounted Rohan.
Mm.
I have a picture.
Yeah.
Or sorry, Aaliyah took pictures, so I'm
Yeah,
borrowing
there's
some of hers.
lots of pictures to show.
Yeah. Drew came.
Yep.
And he had Minas Tirith, which
Okay.
was kind of a Minas Tirith warrior spam.
Yep.
I think a couple horses. And I took Rohan, which was basically a foot Rohan army. And
It's
I
not
had
like you.
no, it's not. I had two mounted guys
Okay.
that were in there for one reason and one reason only.
Yeah.
Seize the prize, because we knew it was going to be one of the missions.
Yeah.
Um,
There's some restrictions. There's only
There
400
was.
points.
Yeah, it was a small tournament, 400 points. There were 4 games.
Yeah.
And they had several restrictions in there. They had a 13 model minimum,
Okay.
and one of them had to be a captain or other unnamed hero. Like you could take a shaman for, well, actually,
You could take a shot.
you could take a shaman, but it wouldn't really make a lot of sense because there was also no magic.
Oh, okay. But
Right.
you could take a spellcaster. You just couldn't use any magic.
Correct.
Oh, okay. Did anybody take Ringwraith?
I don't think so. I don't recall anybody taking any caster whatsoever, actually.
Man, I still would have taken. Oh no, because there was model minimums. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was it. 400 points, minimum 13.
Okay.
No magic. But we knew there were going to be at least a few armies there that were hordes, because like we knew, you know,
you can't use magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we do have people in our community that play Goblin Town and also Hobbits and you know that and
Minister.
Lake Town.
Lake
Yeah, well,
Town.
Minister. So
All the spin.
at least Drew and I took large armies so
Okay.
to sort of try to counter that.
Yeah.
And just as it so happened, I was at the cottage for a few days, and I brought with me a sprue of Rohan warriors, and I'm just like, I'm gonna put these guys together while I'm at the cottage, and then that started me
That
off.
works.
I'm like, well, because I have a Rohan army that we've had for you and I co-owned it at one point, and
that was a long time ago.
yeah, and I need foot guys, so
You need dismounts now.
I ended up adding like, I don't know, 24 foot models to it or whatever.
Cool.
But I took a big army. I think I had, let me see if I have that written down, yeah. 34 models.
That's pretty good,
in-
400 points.
Yeah, so, you know, it was a couple of captains and a whole bunch of guys. Well, I guess 3 captains.
Yeah.
And I think I had Aowen as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So 2 captains and Aowen, I believe, is what I had. And then a whole bunch of guys, 2 of which were on horse. So
Okay.
the theory being that if I was playing hobbits or goblins, that I would have a lot of guys. I had a lot of shooting and
Yeah.
throwing weapons, and one-on-one I should demolish anything like that. So, funnily enough, in the very first game, I drew Ronan, who brought like an absolutely hideous Goblin Town army.
Nice.
And he had over 50 models in his army.
Oh,
And he had the Goblin Scribe.
do you have the Goblin King?
No.
Okay.
He didn't take the Goblin King. So he was maxing his numbers out.
Yeah.
So I think he started with like 52 models or something like that.
Oh, it's good for him. Get it out of your system now before
Yeah.
you can't use it anymore.
I'm not sure if I misplayed the game, but it was Seize the Prize. And in our game there was a bridge in the middle of the table, and the prize was on the middle of the bridge.
What was underneath the bridge?
A
river?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the bridge was actually going across the table rather
Sure.
than like the way we were coming.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I didn't rush forward with my whole army because I thought, well, I have to be able to shoot him in order to counter his numbers a little bit, and I had lots of shooting. I had tons of bows
You
and
weren't
whatnot.
Keeping up with the tempo.
That's right. I started out on a bad tempo.
Yeah.
But anyway, I rushed forward with my 2 mounted models to try to grab the prize, and if I had got it, it would have been
Game over.
it would have been game over. But of course, I went up onto the bridge. First time I tested, rolled a 1. He was marching with all of this stuff. Turn 2, I think he got to it, but I got to. I think, did we both test, or I forget how that works.
Okay.
I rolled anyways on the second turn, rolled a 1. So it was like not good. And then my guys on the bridge, one of them was killed and one ran away because he was on there with like a bunch of guys, and he dug it up. Our lines clashed. My guys did well. I did okay with shooting. Not as good as I should have done. Like, I think my first big volley of shooting, I killed like 1 guy or something like that, and I was like, ugh.
Yeah, it's pretty devastating when that
Yeah, but
happens.
for the other rounds, I did average. The
Okay.
problem was the scribe. Like that model is so dumb. Like anyway, in the old rules, which I guess it hasn't changed because it's part of Goblin
For now.
Town. Yeah, for now. He brought on 100 points worth of goblins.
Yeah.
It was just
You can't.
It was
you
insane.
can't. It's tough to play when you're playing. It's like, oh, I'm playing in a 500 point tournament,
Yeah.
but I just accidentally left 100 points at home.
Yeah. So the other thing too is because they can come on the board on any side.
Yeah.
It's like it's such a huge advantage. So anyway, he ended up with it. He didn't get it off the table. We were kind of playing on the right side of the table, and he ran he ran the prize off the other side of the table and
Sure.
started bringing it off. He didn't actually get it off the table,
Okay.
but it ended up that he had possession of it. So he won the game anyways. But yeah, just like ridiculous rolls on the Goblin Scribe. Like,
Yeah, have you not seen the Green Dragon flowchart of how you're supposed to play that game?
No.
They posted a picture of like the flowchart. It's like the first turn, you rush everything forward.
Yeah.
And then the next turn, you rush everything forward.
Mm-hmm.
But you leave like your cavalry behind your line of guys,
Mm-hmm.
and then you grab the objective and run away.
Yeah. It's like always playing against that army. You're gun shy of just getting overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Had I rushed forward, I might have broken him because he was very close to being broken at the end of the game.
Okay.
I think he might have been one model away, or like that close. Like it was a couple.
Yeah.
models
Every
at
time
most.
I've played against him with that, I usually.
So if I had a charged
two
in,
or-
like I would have lost more guys than I did.
Yeah.
But I might have been able to break him, and who knows what would happen. But anyways, that's how it went. So opening round, lost my game. So that was pretty well meant I wasn't going to win the tournament.
Yeah.
But again, it was a hobby event, so we were there for fun. Game 2, I played against Nick from Barrie.
Okay.
So there's Nick and Ewan that are sort of newer to the group.
Yeah.
They've been coming out to tournaments, and
played,
I hadn't played Nick before.
I played against. No, I played beside you when you were playing against one of them at Evan's event, Holzer for Hobbits.
Yeah, I think I played Ewan in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Nick had a Mirkwood army, and we played Domination, and I couldn't kill his guys at first in the game. Like all my shooting was just doing nothing,
Yeah.
and I tried to advance. He had some Rangers and Legolas in a ruin, and I'm like, I'm gonna advance against these guys with a warband of guys. Well, by the time I got even near them, there was like nothing left, and I ended up retreating with like a few guys, and like only a couple of weary souls made it back to my lines. Kind of
Nice.
just like slaughtered them with the shooting.
They're like,
but
hey, you guys, go over there. There's only one Space Marine.
Yeah.
They lied. There's two.
But unfortunately, in Domination, that's not how you win. So
No.
I had them outnumbered. Even with those losses, I heavily outnumbered them. And we got into a big scrum on the left-hand side, and eventually my numbers just came to pass that
Yeah.
I don't think I didn't wipe all of his guys out, but I dominated it, and I ended up getting so I had the two on my side, the two objectives, and I had the one in the middle, and then I think I either owned the one on the left on his side or contested it, and he had the one over there. So, fun game, fun guy to play. I got the win on that one. We did lunch, I think, after the first game or second game, and just did Subway, which was on the street.
Yep.
Which was good. Game 3, I played Sean Trumbull.
Okay.
And he also had a Mirkwood army, and it was really small. Because he had a Mirkwood captain, a unit of guys, and then he had Thranduil on
Elk.
on Elk. Yeah.
It's only 165 points if you take a bow. Oops, I probably shouldn't say that. Whatever. He's 100 and something points.
Yeah.
But it's
It's not a secret, I don't think.
it's a third of his army was one model.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
So I had a big battle line in that one, and I did I write
More
the
than
game
30,
down? I
yes.
can't recall the mission that we played here. Yeah, I can't remember. It wasn't an objective
Lords
based
of
one.
Battle?
It might have been Lords of Battle. He ended up moving up into the center of the board because there was like a little spot where there was like some hedges and bushes, and so he was hiding behind there and like trying to max out his shooting at me, and he did well with his shooting. And I can't even remember the result of the game. He did charge into my lines with Thranduil, and we fought. We both killed a bunch of stuff. It might have even been a tie. It was a really low point game. Like it was like, I might have won 1-0, or we tied. Like it was like.
yeah.
it was a game where there was a lot of shooting and fighting and everything, but very few victory points were surrendered.
Yeah, it's like, haha, we did all this stuff and I managed to put a wound on your leader, so I win. It's like, oh, fun.
Yeah. So it was good. Sean's always a fun guy to play against.
For sure.
And the last game, I played against Michael Campbell.
Okay.
And it was Heirlooms, my favorite mission of all time.
Mine too.
And we played we played that on a table that had that GW terrain that you have. I forget what it's called. It's the mausoleums and all that.
Oh, Gardens of Moor.
Yeah, the Gardens of Moor. It was really good, actually. You still have that, right?
Yeah, I have 2 sets of it.
Yeah, but not built.
Space coated.
Okay. It was actually really good to play on. I thought it worked really well. They had a big sort of cemetery in the middle with a fence around the outside. Yeah. And so we had all the objectives scattered around. And it was the very first time where I played that game and it went exactly like you try to make it go all the time. Okay. Because what you try to do all the time is save one objective, and after all the other ones are, dug up or whatever, and none of them are it, then it's automatically that one.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened in this game. His army was really small. He had a Grey Company army.
Okay.
So again, I outnumbered him like crazy, and in the end it was my numbers that won.
Okay.
He had some bad deployment too, where he had Halbarad with the banner, and he ended up starting sort of almost on his own or with a couple of other guys, and so I was able to throw like a warband at least or 2 maybe at it and kill him.
Was this using the new rules or no? It was still the old rules.
This was our last tournament.
Okay.
I think in the OSBGL with the old rules, because I think the next tournament is going to have the new ones, which we'll talk about in a minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, Michael's super fun to play against. Always have great games with him because he's like absolutely uncompetitive, doesn't care about that side of the game. Obviously, he tries to win games, but he's always there just to have fun. So it was a really good laid back game. Playing a guy like that in your final game of any tournament is always awesome because it's like you leave the event with no stress. For sure. Right? But anyways, what ended up happening in that one was like between the two of us, we went on to 5 of the objectives, or however, are there 6 or
6?
Yeah. And none of them were it, and then the one that I kind of reserved at the back of the table was it, and so I ended up with it and won the game.
Yeah, it's always a challenge. Because you're like, oh, well, I'm going to save this one, and then he's going to save it.
And then you roll a 6 when you go and look at one that you don't want it to be it.
And then it's like, oh, well, we've both got huge forces on these ones, but it's way over there. Well, we each have like 5 guys. Yeah. Yeah, so I still want to play that mission with the Nazgul army. Yeah. And I want to use the teleport ability of the Abyssal Knight, where they can like teleport to the other Abyssal Knight and be like, I have the objective way over here. And then they're like, they follow you all the way over there, and you're like, nope.
Oh my god.
I goofed ya, it's way over here now.
Yeah. So that game was fun too because like Michael, he had a couple of Rangers of the North and he had Halbarad. Yeah. And then he was using the model for Madril, I think. I'm not sure if it was actually Madril or not. Okay. But he had like a full warband of Rangers with Madril, and they kept like moving 3, shooting, moving 3, shooting. Like he did it every turn, and they started in the corner, right? Like I think I put him in the corner. Sure. Right, and they were doing that and not highly successful with their shooting, killing my guys, but they did kill a few. But like with the Gardens of Moor terrain, what I ended up doing was like I had guys coming from all different directions, and I was trying to form like a battle line like on the other side of the sort of iron fence with my like throwing spears and whatever. So it was kind of fun like getting that to happen, and we eventually came together there and had a bit of a fight before the game ended, so it was pretty cool. Yeah. But that was my last game, so I forget the result of the game with Sean, but I had 2 wins, a loss, and then maybe it was a tie, maybe, or so.
It wasn't enough to cause you to win or lose.
No, I wasn't going to be placing.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of awards, looks like.
There was, yeah. But before I get to those, we'll say that Andrew Scott did really well in gaming. And going into the final game, he was playing on the top table against Derek.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, so I think he had 1, 2, and tied 1. And
we've got our
yeah. And Derek, I think, had 1, 3.
A little prodigy from the north.
We do. Yeah, he's not so little, though.
No.
So,
no, well, our younger prodigy, I should say.
Yeah. So he played Derek on the top table.
Yeah.
And all those of us that didn't, read in detail the tournament pack thought that was going to be for the win of the tournament. Yeah, and Andrew won the game.
He did?
So yeah, Andrew
went... So he went 4-0?
No, he went 3 and a tie, and Derek had 3 and a loss.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone else finished on 3 and a loss.
Okay.
But to our surprise, this hobby event, Aaliyah had set it up, and it was in the tournament pack. I'd just forgotten. I did read it at one point, but I had forgotten. So
oops, gotcha.
She actually had soft scores that contributed to your tournament points. So the prizes were best painted, best conversion, best display board, fluffiest army, stinky cheese, and wooden spoon. So not all of them contributed to your thing, but I think the first 4, painted, conversion, display, and fluffiest army, I think all contributed 1 tournament point, I believe.
So it's enough to...
Yeah. So the funny thing was, for display board, there were only 2 people there that actually really had honest-to-goodness display boards, Derek and me. And my display board is kind of the generic display board that I've had for probably 20 years and used for different games. And it's currently a Lord of the Rings one, and probably will remain that for the rest of its life. So I imagine that the vast majority of votes either went to my display board or his. And Derek had an Angmar army, which he has painted his stuff in sort of like a frozen ice kind of theme, and so he built a board that goes along with that, and it was quite nice. And he ended up taking the best display board as well, so that gave him a point, and he won best painted as well.
Oh no!
Yeah, which gave him another point. So I think in battle points, like best general kind of thing, I think he probably finished 1 behind little Andrew. And then with those 2 points, he went ahead of him by 1. Yeah, so he ended up winning the tournament, and I guess Andrew probably came in second.
Yeah.
A guy named Robbie won for best conversion.
Okay.
And it was for an Isengard troll who had the Isengard troll shield over his head with 2 hands like this.
Oh.
He was smashing people with it. It's pretty nice.
The double tap.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like the ultimate bash attack.
Yeah.
Great big steel
Well,
plate.
it's usually people do it with the top of a toilet.
Yeah.
Like the top of a toilet tank, but he's doing it with a metal shield.
Yeah. Yeah. So he won best conversion for that.
Nice.
And then fluffiest army went to Andrew Barbizan.
Okay. What was he using?
Who's a regular. He did the sort of Balin's expedition.
Okay.
Kind of, so Durin's folk.
Sure.
This is in the old rules, not the new.
Yeah.
Because now there's actually an army list for that.
Yeah.
So he had that, and then Stinky Cheese, which is like the award for like the beardiest army there.
Yeah. I.e., the people hate your army the most.
Yeah. Guess who got that one? Well, you probably read my note, but
it's not an Andrew Brock.
No.
But he's
he had an army of Minas Tirith warriors. That was it.
Oh.
There's nothing, and a few rangers. It was Ronan.
Yeah, well, it's one of those 2 guys always wins.
Not Ronan's first time winning that award.
With that army.
Yeah. But I mean, there wasn't really a lot to choose from.
No.
I mean,
400 points is...
Yeah. It was like the only thing that really made it stinky cheese was because he had the Goblin Scribe in a 400-point tournament.
Yeah.
Other than that, it was just a horde army of goblins.
But the Goblin Scribe, like it could do very well or it could do terrible.
I've never played against it where it did terrible.
Yeah, I know. It always brings somebody on.
No.
Even like, what's his point cost?
50, I believe.
Mm.
Yeah, and the thing without getting too off track is we see that come into like our all-hero tournaments. It was in the all-hero tournament last one we played, and I played against Ron, and he had it too. And it's like, why do we have a model that brings on like 4-point warrior models in an all-hero tournament?
Yeah.
And it won the game. It was at Nova, actually.
I know.
Yeah. So anyway, not that I'm like butthurt.
You're angry.
And last but not least, we had the wooden spoon, so the person that came in last place, and that went to young Cuin from Barrie.
Yep. You helped him win that award?
I did.
Oh
No,
you played.
No, I played him in the previous tournament. I didn't play him this time. I played Nick.
Yeah.
I played Nick. Yeah.
Okay, my bad. Sorry.
Yeah. So really good tournament though. It was really good, and it was one of the first tournaments that we've been to where nobody had to bring any terrain.
That's good.
Yeah, because we ended up playing, like normally we play with like, the rollout, mouse pad maps and, like the quality of our terrain at tournaments has gone pretty through the roof. Like it's really nice now.
I don't know if like any major tournament that we've gone to where people haven't been like, man, like everybody talking about the Lord of the Rings boards.
Because like we have so many players in our tournament now that can bring at least 1 or 2 really nice tables. So you add them all up, and you have more than you need now.
Yeah.
Like you remember when we started, and like you and I we would bring a table each, and like nobody else other than Michael Campbell.
Yeah.
Nobody else would be able to bring stuff. Now like literally almost all of our regulars can pretty well bring a table.
Yeah.
Almost.
Like I was saying, I listen to a lot of different podcasts for different games. And like the big convention ones are always like, man, did you guys see the Lord of the Rings tables? And they're like, yeah, it was like.
Well, that's how it's been at Nova the 2 times we've
Yeah.
been, and like TGX was the same, and like some of the stuff the OHA runs, like at Hot Lead, we were there last year, and it was the same. It was like there was nothing, like there was a lot of other games being played, not just GW stuff and some nice terrain, but not nearly as good as the stuff that they had and
George and the guys that build the
like every event that they run is like a feature of a new board that George makes, and like they're all just incredible. Right? So when you have people like that, and Ben Boomer, in our group is the same. Like he makes a lot of terrain.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that leaves the province because he builds it, he commissions it, right? So. But he made one for me, a table.
Yep.
We'll get to that. So that was it for to St. Catharines and Back Again. Really good job by Aaliyah. And just to finish my thought, so we used all of the store terrain. So we played like on bare wooden painted green boards. So it was a little on the open
like
side.
At the club?
A little less terrain. Yeah, like in the old days when we played on our boards at the club.
Yeah.
But we used all their thing. The funny thing too was it's a big space they have, and on the side they have all of this stuff like of personal collections of people that play there, and I guess they reserve space to keep all their stuff.
Okay.
And there was some really nice Hobbit terrain like on the shelves, but it was like personal property of so and so, do not use or whatever. It's like, oh my god, but it's like they're Hobbit holes, like we want to use it, But yeah, so it was a good tournament. I would definitely go and play at that store again because the space was excellent.
It is definitely a trip there and back again, though.
It is. It is not the closest
for us anyway.
Yeah, it's just like it's under 2 hours, but only just.
Yeah, which is nothing compared to driving to Nova.
No, it's like not even out of the country.
It's like an overnight trip.
It was on the way. Like it's.
Yeah.
We passed it on the way to Nova.
There and back again. Hey.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So next up on the OSBGL. Oh, sorry, no, we were going to talk a bit about the OHA ran a tournament recently too. We went to it last year.
It's
Scouring of the West Farthing.
2 weekends ago.
2 weekends ago. Yeah, and unfortunately this year just couldn't make it down. There's been so much going on. I mean, we had just come back from Nova.
My sister got married the weekend
Your
before
sister was
that,
getting
so
married. I went to
no
this
time
tournament. We got another tournament coming up, and then I have a club event, and then we have our tournament. So it was just, yeah.
It's been a very busy.
It's not the
time of
only
year.
tournament that I probably
Plus, this
won't
is
get
the
to go to.
Busiest 3 months
I know.
of the month for me. So.
And it just so happens too that my work right now is just crazy. I'm working like a ton of overtime, and just like, anyway.
Real life happens.
It does, but they had. I think their tournament was set up for 20 people.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong, and they either got 18 or 20. I think.
Yeah, it looked like they had a fair amount. Of
Yeah,
people
so
there.
it was pretty well full. And I know George had a new table at it. I'm pretty sure the Lake Town table that he's been working on was there. So no doubt their terrain was incredible. Again, it always is.
I was afraid to play in it that I'm going to break something.
Yeah, well, that's the way it is with any of that really nice terrain, regardless of who makes it. You're afraid that you're going to bust it. But so they had a really successful turnout, and I know just reading on Facebook that they said that they had 8 new people.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so that's really good. And I watched Jason's latest Pints and Paints, and he mentioned that they'd been getting a lot of new people for liking their Facebook page.
Okay.
And I'm not surprised either, because like our Facebook group, the OSBGL Facebook group, like the amount of people that have joined our Facebook group since over the last 2 months is just, it's crazy.
I know, there's people posting, I'm like, I've never even seen this guy before.
Yeah, like I know we're basically, we've been getting like a person a day for like the last 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, it seems to be a common thing.
Which may not sound like a lot, but like, you know, our group is only in around 500 or so, or whatever. So when you get in, like, you know, 2 months go by and you get 60 new people, it's like, whoa, it's like a, it's like a big new
it's almost like a
influx.
1/5 of what we have.
Yeah, so something to
6.
pay attention to for sure. But they had a really good event. Hopefully we'll be able to go to it next year, because we at least don't plan on going to Nova at this point.
Yeah.
At least I don't. I don't know if you are.
I think Nova's probably going to be an every other year thing
I think
for
so.
me.
Yeah,
If
me too.
because we talked about it, we'll probably end up flying down because it's.
Well, either way, driving or flying, it's a long trip. It's not cheap. You know.
I drove the whole way there and back, and as fun as it was, it's.
I don't have any problem with you driving all the way there and back.
I know.
It was fine.
It was.
I think we should keep doing that.
I was okay until we got to close to Washington. Driving in that city is terrible.
Yeah.
Even during non-rush hour.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a long drive, but we did good splitting it up this year. That was a good idea, I think.
That's what helped me keep my sanity.
It was, yeah, it was. But yeah, anyways, hopefully we will get to Scouring of the West Farthing next year, because we really had a fun time at it last year. But again, even that one, it's a night away as well.
Yeah.
Because it's like a.
It is only 1 day
drive.
though, so.
It's a one. Well, it's a convention. Like, it's at KegsCon, so there is a convention there.
It's I guess it's Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, so you could actually go Friday and do other stuff,
Okay.
and then stay over and, you know, do the Lord of the Rings on Saturday and stay over and do it more on Sunday. You could do it but then that's 2 nights.
Okay.
So yeah. Anywho, so the next tournament in the OSBGL schedule is next weekend.
It is.
Yeah, October 20th, and it's the Grand River, which is part of Council Fire's convention, which is normally in Brantford, Ontario, which isn't all that far for us. It's just kind of the other side of Hamilton.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why. I guess maybe they had a problem getting their venue, which is like a hotel convention room. And it's in Niagara Falls this year.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's quite a bit further for us to go. It would be at least a 2-hour drive. So it's put on by Blackfyre and Council Fires. Lots of fire there.
Fire everywhere.
Yeah.
32 players.
Yeah.
But it's doubles,
Mm-hmm.
so it means there's 16 teams.
Right.
And it's 400 points a player.
Yeah.
Okay, so
it's actually the same point level as the last tournament that I was at.
Yeah.
I could just bring that.
There you go.
Yeah.
You and Lelanger team up, all mounted and all foot.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah. 400 points of foot Rohan and 400 points of all mounted. Yeah.
Just get new Theoden painted up.
Yeah.
It's historical or convenient. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, convenient allies only. So no.
So they didn't ban any models. You can take anything you want, but you and your partner have to either be
historical or
best buds, as we call it.
Best bros.
Best bros, or allies of convenience.
Yeah.
And they have a maximum model count of 50 models per player.
Really?
Yeah. So never seen that before. Not
probably
sure.
to speed things up.
I guess if you're running Hobbits or Goblin Town, you could break the 50 model point.
Yeah.
Maybe even.
It's weird though because it's new rules, so everything's changed.
It is. Yeah, I don't know all the points now because some things went up in points. Like was it Hobbit Militia? I think went up a point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, I don't think any of this stuff from There and Back Again went up or down in points. Like none of that stuff adjusted. It's just in the Armies of the Lord of the Rings was adjusted. And a lot of the profiles. Like I don't think there was very many that didn't change. Even like
that didn't change.
Didn't change. Maybe like basic warriors and stuff, but I know all the armies that I have, a lot of stuff changed in those guys.
Well, it seems like a lot of warrior profiles got a special rule as well. I don't know.
So
I'm way behind where I should be on reading the rules and like reading all the new profiles. Like I think the most that I've looked at it is on the ride home from Nova.
Yeah.
Like since then, I've been so
We've just
busy.
been in terrain mode.
Oh, I haven't even like.
And army play does.
Well, you and I, like I haven't anyway. Have you played a game with the new rules?
No.
Maybe.
No, we didn't even. Yeah, we played the new rules when Drew and I play tested that.
Okay, yeah. I haven't played a game with the new rules yet, so like that's how far behind I am.
Heroic defense is amazing against enemy cavalry. Oh my god, it's so good.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not. It's one of the ones that not everybody has, right?
Yeah,
that heroic.
It's very specific.
Yeah.
To certain
but
people.
Fortunately, dwarves get it, which you and I both played dwarves.
Yes.
So anyway, that as we said, that tournament, the Grand River, that'll be the first tournament that it is in the OSBGL schedule using the new rules.
Yeah, so definitely get out and play, because our tournament, which is like 2 weekends after that.
Yeah, so we have the October tournament is on October 20th.
Yeah.
And the November tournament, which is our tournament, which we're going to talk about next, is November 3rd. So they're actually only 2 weeks apart, which is kind of a shame, but that's just the way it works sometimes with the available dates that you can get for
the only time we could get stuff available and get time off was that day. So there's new rules, so like I'm always for getting out and playing as many games as possible when new rules come out. But I've only played one game of The Hobbit since the new rules have come out.
Yeah, and it was a play test of one of our missions.
Yeah, so it wasn't really...
It was kind of like, it's kind of, that doesn't work,
Move all your men back. We spent more time arguing over what heroics everybody has.
Yeah. So this episode, we're not going to really do a traditional Flotsam and Jetsam because we're not going to get another video filmed before our tournament. So Flotsam and Jetsam is going to be talking about our tournament. Yeah. Which is coming up on November 3rd, Saturday.
On Saturday,
yeah. And we've been planning this for a long time.
There's nothing written down.
No, I know. This is going to have to be off the cuff. That's why I got my computer here. So
okay. Well, we should know what we're doing.
We should know this. God, we've been working on it for a year. Because originally we had planned to do it in May this year, and originally planned to do a 2-day tournament. Yeah. And it was just way too much work.
We didn't have the time to get everything together.
And based on
somebody was getting married. And
and just our personal schedules just didn't allow for it to be done so quickly. So fortunately, Derek was good enough to switch his November spot with our May spot, and then he ended up getting stuck running 2 tournaments in a row.
It was back to back.
Yeah, it was like April and May, I guess, like that. Yeah. But thank you very much again,
definitely,
Derek, for doing that. And what we found over the last year, I guess, was that we sort of backed off on the 2-day thing for a whole number of reasons. Yeah. Mostly, I think, because of the nature of the tournament. It's a very different style tournament than what we're used to, and so there's a lot of work that's required.
Yeah. Well, we have so many, like every mission is different, first of all. So when you go and play at this, every table, it's going to be a different mission. So you're not going to be playing the same game as the people to the left or right or even anybody else in the tournament. Yeah,
so traditionally, like every round, everybody plays the same mission. So, you know, this round, round 3, everyone plays heirlooms, right? But our tournament is not like that.
No.
Our tournament is our tournament this year anyway will have 10 tables. It's capped at 20 people.
Yep.
And every one of the 10 tables will sort of host its own mission. And anybody that plays on that table will play that mission.
Yeah.
And most of them are custom missions.
Yes.
I think, is there only one that's...
There's a couple of them that take a lot from other missions.
Yeah.
As more of a base, but we've kind of...
Yeah, like I think even the one, which is High Ground...
Yeah.
Ironically isn't one of the current missions anymore.
No.
Even that one we've messed around with the victory points a little.
Yeah.
So let's just talk about the table assignments and what the logic is there, because again, that's very different. Normally all the tournaments that are run are Swiss style, so winners play winners, losers play losers, and that's the only criteria that you really go by. Obviously, normally you don't want to have people playing each other that they've already played, but sometimes in tournaments, even, you know, in the last round, some tournaments will say, okay, well, you're going to have to play...
You might have to play somebody.
You might have to play somebody you already played.
Yeah.
So we're going to be doing that a little bit different in our tournament, because our tournament is a hobby event as well. It's an 80-point tournament, not a 100-point. And so the whole idea of our tournament is really to embrace the hobby sort of aspect of it.
Yeah, we don't want it all to be based on generalship.
Right.
That has obviously some impact on it, but we want people bringing really nice armies.
Single faction.
600
points.
Yep, 600 points, single faction. There's a big list of band models.
Unfortunately, it's right
here. You want to go over them? Okay, it's all right. Well, this is the first time I didn't delete stuff before we started filming, and it came back and bit us in the butt.
Yes, sir.
Good job, me. Failing at my job. Okay, so we don't know where this cut off, but we'll just start off with band models because I was rambling on about those. So you better sit down. This could take a while.
Yeah, that's what I wrote in the tournament pack because it's a fairly long list.
Yeah.
Like normally there's like 2 or 3 band models.
0-point Golem and Tom Bombadil.
Our list is, I don't know, counting Siege Engines, is probably like 20 different models.
Okay, so I didn't state this before I started reading it off, and we kind of said it in between. So I'll start again. There's a big list, like you said, and the reason for us banning these models is because they either break the scenario, or some of them are even part of the scenario, and we don't want the Goblin King, for instance, fighting against another Goblin King. It doesn't make any sense. So that's the reason behind these models not being allowed. Like not all of them are that way, but we just don't want stuff breaking the scenario.
Read the list.
I'm going to read the list.
Okay.
I just keep saying the same thing over and over again, just wording it differently.
Okay.
Okay, so the first model on our list is Tom Bombadil, which would cancel Goldberry as well, I think.
Yeah, that's why I didn't write Goldberry, because someone pointed out that you have to have Tom Bombadil to take Goldberry.
Do you still have to have Tom Bombadil to take Goldberry?
I checked.
Okay, so Tom Bombadil is the first model.
Yeah.
Then the next thing is the War Mumuk. All variants of it, regardless of what list it comes from, you cannot have a giant elephant on your team. Any kind of siege engine, even the little small ones, not allowed.
No hanging back on the edge of the board and lobbing rocks or giant
no trolls carrying catapults on their back. Nothing that is a siege engine. We should probably check that, but I think that is a siege engine.
Yeah.
The Great Beast of Gorgoroth, the Iron Hills Chariot, the one with the champions as well, a dragon, Watcher in the Water, Cave Drake, the Dark Lord Sauron, with and without the ring. You know it comes with the ring automatically now. the Balrog, which was up in the air.
It was.
That's for, I think, future proofing.
Well, because like our two, it's that one was a hard one because like our 2-day tournament is gonna have when we expand hopefully next year, and we're gonna have more people and more tables. One of them will actually have the Balrog in the mission.
Yeah. Spoiler.
Spoiler, yeah. But this year we decided to ban it also, which is kind of hard because like Moria armies now basically all are gonna have the Balrog. So yes, you can still take Moria, but you know, no Balrog.
No Balrog.
Sorry.
May as well get ready for it because it's not allowed.
Well, again, it's a total mission or scenario breaker.
Yeah.
In some of ours. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. The other thing is the 3 trolls because we have a mission based around them. The Goblin King and the Goblin Scribe. We both have mission around the Goblin King anyway. Mm-hmm. And then you put a note that should do it for this year because there's going to be more.
Yeah, next year we'll probably add a couple things. So
maybe take some stuff off. We don't know.
Yeah. So it does actually make it hard to play some lists. Like, well, of course, the 3 trolls is a list that's too small for our tournament because it's only 400 and we need 600. But also even Goblin Town now, it's going to be very difficult to play Goblin Town in our tournament because it's single faction also. So
they just take more goblins.
Yeah, you could. It's conceivable.
It's conceivable.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we want to say where it's happening? Oh, so
yeah, let's say where it's happening because originally we had booked the Newmarket Public Library for it, where we've had events in the past, both for the Hobbit and our games club has met there many times as well.
Yeah.
But I approached a lady that owns a cafe that we've been playing at and asked if we would be able to almost completely take over her cafe.
Actually, we want to use from here
like,
back.
Yeah, it's kind of like 2/3, and the way the cafe is set up, it's totally fine.
People won't be able to sit back around the fireplace
still have lots
and have
of
their coffee on the comfy chair,
whatever. The name of the cafe is, I got it. This one is a challenge. Ahui Hoi.
Hui Hoi.
Coffee house.
And passive wear.
Yeah, they do. They also have a clothing line.
Yeah.
But it's on Main Street in Newmarket. It's actually right around the corner from the library, so you can park in the same spot, or there's another big parking spot right there.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really good because it's going to be in a venue that can serve drinks and
stuff. You can get coffee and
there's no alcohol in there, but there's tons of coffee, tea, pop, and snacks galore,
scones and
muffins
and cookies.
So that's going to be different for us, and I hope it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Right. So that's where it's going to be anyway. It is going to be 4 games.
Yep.
600 point single faction. Already talked about that. And there's 10 tables, each one with its own mission. So 10 different missions.
Special names for them all.
Yeah. Special names for them all. We are still play testing. Right here we have a mission set up that we haven't play tested yet because I've been working on the terrain for the past year, which is down in Goblin Town. So it's a custom mission and we are going to play test that mission, and it will be my first game with the new rules after we film this video.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a weird one. If you bring mounted models, they are dismounted for the game.
Yeah. So the game starts with everybody being dismounted. And the only exception, I guess, is wargs, because they still have a chance to stick around.
Yeah.
But you lose your cavalry model. You could potentially have a warg rider become an orc on foot and a warg on foot.
Yeah.
But the reason why is because it's in Goblin Town.
Yep.
Like, mounts just don't go in Goblin Town.
You don't usually see a Felbeast flying around or...
So, again, it's like you gotta embrace the fact that it's a hobby tournament. So weird things like this are gonna be happening in, all of the scenarios. But we have a mechanic built in because, well, what happens if one guy is playing like all mounted Rohan and the other guy is playing an all foot army? Well, we have a mechanic built in to equalize that in the mission.
Yep.
Which we won't get into all the gory details, but we will see how it works. We're going to play test it right now and find out. I think it's going to work fine, what we have planned. but we will see. But all of the missions, well, not all, but like quite a few of them have weird things like that. Did you want to read through the missions, or what do you want to do? They're all on the tournament.
We can just
so
do a
we may
list,
as well.
list them off. The first one.
We'll take turns.
Okay. It's Lonely Mountain Heist.
Mm-hmm.
That place is full of cash. Which army can grab the most?
Yeah. So this mission, we're using one that we came up with several years ago.
Yeah.
What's it called again? I forget. Precious Cargo.
Precious Cargo.
Yeah. So it's basically about both armies start with a heavy object, and they try to get it off the other side of the table.
Yep.
Generally, that's what it's about. And common feature in all these missions is what? About victory points.
There's only 12 of them?
There's only 12 victory points available in every one of these scenarios.
Yeah. So, there's not, we should say that there's not really a winner and a loser in the missions.
No.
There'll be somebody that gets more victory points.
Yeah.
But because we're getting rid of the whole Swiss style matchup.
Yeah, we never really finished our
we kind of just went into it. But
let's finish what we're talking about now, and then we'll go back to that.
We'll go back.
We'll go through
we're just all over the place. We're like side questing everywhere. We can't just stick with the main storyline. We got to go on the side quests.
Okay, the next one is the Battle for Osgiliath.
Yep.
And our buddy Andrew Brook,
yep,
who is one of the TOs along with us. He just couldn't be here today for the video, unfortunately.
Yep.
He has been tasked with making the terrain for that one. And I still have not seen a photograph of any of that terrain. Have you?
It's built. We know that.
I saw where he had it all off the sprue because he had like multiple sets of the ruins of Osgiliath. Yeah. I saw where he had taken it all off and, you know, removed mold lines and put it all together.
I think he has a base coated as well. It's at least black.
But he's making bases, like MDF bases, to put it all on and doing all that. So
yeah,
I've been talking to him about it because he had a little bit of trouble with the first one, and you know, so we've been doing that. But that one is, I forget what the mission is now on that one.
Secure and control.
Secure and control, yeah, sort of. It's a little bit different.
A little different.
Yeah. But it's basically taking over the ruins of Osgiliath.
So I think no, he doesn't have any bridges.
No.
Just like key points in the city. The next one is my favorite. It's called Pelennor Circus.
Pelennor Circus.
And it's basically what you hope never
happens. It gives it away in my description right there. I looked it up on YouTube to make sure.
Bring it down. Bring it down.
Yeah. I'm sure he says that in the movie, and I looked it up on YouTube. Yep, there it is. Yeah.
So it's...
So you remember when we said you're not allowed to bring a Mumek?
Yeah.
Because you can't bring a Mumek to a Mumek fight. It's just not right.
Yeah. We're not allowing you to bring a Mumek to a Mumek fight. It's a crazy scenario. The driver of the Mumek's been killed, probably by Aomer with a spear, and the Mumek just goes nuts.
And all of the victory points you can get in this mission are on the Mumek.
Or tied around something happening with the Mumek.
Yeah. Yeah, so this one here, we, this tournament is based off of kind of two different tournaments and two different
game systems.
One is Lord of the Rings, which is the Seven Stones, which in the GBHL, Tom and Damien run it.
Yeah, like don't bring the Crusherless. Yeah. It's to be a fun event. It's bring the fun stuff.
Yeah, and the other one is one that's been held locally here in Toronto for God knows how long. I don't know. It's a 40K event.
2002.
2002?
So 16 years.
And it is called Astronomicon, and it's a 40K. And we borrowed their concept of a mission per table, and players rotate through the missions rather than everybody playing the same mission. And a lot of them are like out there.
Yeah, some of them are like.
Yeah, and it's
what do you mean? That's how you win the game? It's by doing that.
Of fun.
Yeah, no, it's good.
We used to go to it every year. I haven't played 40K for a long time now, but we used to go to it every year, and
they changed it up a little bit. Lord of the Rings now has the 3 different types of playing. There's the competitive play, the narrative play, and the I forget what the other one is. Match play. They did like a narrative style mission, and after hearing about it, I really wish I had gone. Yeah. But I just didn't have the time to get to it, so I might go to it next year. But yeah, that's where we've got the idea for a different mission on every table. Yeah. It's based on that.
One of theirs is called, like, there's a movie called Sink the Bismarck. Yeah. Okay, and their mission is called Sink the Baneblade. Yeah. So the Baneblade is like a giant heavy tank in 40K universe.
It's like a massive hulking behemoth.
And it's the same kind of thing. The Baneblade drives down the center of the table, firing guns at everything, and that's in the middle of the battle. Yeah. Basically.
And the two armies are fighting to try and see who can do the most damage to the Baneblade.
Yeah. So this mission is the same thing, but Lord of the Rings style, Middle Earth style,
with the Mumik. Yeah. So yeah, it's got a bunch of crazy rules. I've been working on a movement template because the Mumik will have a predetermined move that it does every turn based on what you roll. So I've been working on a template to make it easier for you to move the Mumik.
But it always kind of justifies itself back to the point where it's going to go off the table.
It's always aiming for the middle of the other side of the table. Yeah. Because we're like, well, what happens if it keeps going right, or it can't turn left, so it keeps going right? The guy on that side of the table is going to have an easier chance of wounding the thing, right? So we've hopefully play tested it a couple times. We've built in ways around one side being overpowered to it. Like you can't shoot it to death because you're not going to get any points after a certain amount.
And you won't have any siege engines either.
And you won't have siege engines. Most of our missions have like a funny "ha-ha, I'm losing" or "I got smashed" rule.
This one does.
This one is pretty funny, but yeah. So that's
not a lot of terrain in this mission.
No. Only in the starting zones, and it's to make it easier to move the Mumik.
Yeah, the train that we do have, I made it, and it took me like way longer to make than I had planned.
Yeah, so it's a fun mission, like I say with the rest of them, but yeah, it's a wide open board. It's like a Mumik trampling through a field of battle. Yeah, on Pelennor fields.
Okay, the next one is Warg Attack. Warg Riders and Riders of Rohan, pick a side.
We had Ben make the terrain for this one.
Who did we have? I had
yeah. Well, we talked about it, and then you commissioned it.
So you remember the part in the Two Towers, I believe, where the baggage train of like the Rohan refugees, they get attacked by wargs. Yeah. That's kind of the setting, I guess, of the mission. Yeah. And it's kind of like a messenger style mission. So one army starts with 5 Riders of Rohan, and the other army starts with 5 Warg Riders on your side. And the battle kind of revolves around those models. Yeah. I think that's all we need to say about it, really.
Yeah, we don't want to give away too much.
No.
Okay. Next one is The Passage of the Marshes. Cross the dead marshes in the middle of a battle? Question mark. Sounds safe to me. So, this is kind of based on not really a battle happening there, because the dead marshes are like what comes to the area after the big battle that happens at the beginning of Fellowship movie. But this is when Sam and Frodo are walking across. With Gollum. And, excuse me, Frodo gets kind of entranced by the lights in the ponds and the marshes and gets pulled in. So it's basically...
There's dead things in there.
There's dead things in there. Yeah, the mission's...
It's Reconnoiter, yeah. It's Reconnoiter, basically.
It's like a twist on Reconnoiter.
Yeah. So it's Reconnoiter, but you're trying to cross a swamp, basically, with, like, scary...
With specters.
Specters and
going,
stuff.
No, you can't walk across the table, come to me! And again, like all the missions, this has a special built-in thing where if something happens to you more than your opponent, you get like give you a freebie.
Yeah, I'll give you a free
victory point. Because you're more than likely,
it's like a mercy victory point.
But yeah, So that's that, and then the
next one is Down in Goblin Town, but I'm going to skip it because we already talked about it.
Sure.
And go to the next one. The next one is roast mutton. Go get those ponies. If you run into trouble, hoot twice like a barn owl and once like a brown owl. So again, this is why no 3 trolls.
Yeah.
Because this mission is about the 3 trolls.
They're in this.
Yeah.
They're not going to be exactly the 3 trolls.
Far from it.
But it's to balance the mission, really.
Yeah.
So
it is. But this is basically you got the 3 trolls. They have a pen with lots of ponies in the pen. And that is the setting for the mission. And only you can imagine how you get victory points.
Attack on Weathertop. King of the Hill, Middle Earth style.
Yeah, so this was the one we kind of already talked about.
Yeah.
It's high ground with a few small adjustments to it.
Yep. Attacking on Weathertop.
Yeah. Sorry.
Scroll a little bit. You can do that one, I'll do the last one.
Defend the mark. Keep that fire away from our straw houses. So this is actually an attacker-defender mission, and we're borrowing this from our buddies over at Blackfyre Productions. I don't know if we actually changed the mission at all.
We did.
I think we did, yes.
We changed some rules in it to make it so that it was, I don't know, it was a little bit easier. No, it's a little bit harder for one side to automatically get a win.
So one side is the defender, and they start in the center of a table,
Yeah.
and there's 4 buildings around them in the center, and the attacker starts on the outer edge of the board. Pardon me. And the attacker's mission is to destroy the buildings.
Yep.
And the defender's is to protect the buildings.
Yep. And there's defensive fortifications there, and
and it's a Rohan theme, obviously.
Correct. Last one.
Yeah.
Scouring of the Shire. Another one of my favorites.
Yeah, this is out there.
This was one that we playtested early, and it was
Yeah.
really. We changed the way the table is set up based on the way we were playing it, but how are you supposed to fight a battle with all these hobbits in the way?
Yeah.
That should.
So kind of you're fighting a battle in the middle of Hobbiton. Kind of thing.
And hobbits decide to join the fight.
Yeah. It's like the whole fear, fire, foes concept.
Why are these 2 armies fighting in our homes?
Yeah.
We should probably try and stop them.
Exactly. So that's what it is. It's like there's kind of a 3rd army on the table.
Yeah.
That one. So yeah, those are the 10 missions. We have some other ones that have not been fully developed, because when we started this out as a 2-day event, we had 15 tables.
Yeah.
So hopefully next year we can have the energy to push this forward into a 2-day.
We're doing half as much.
I don't know, it's like this year it's just been a real struggle getting ready for this one. And even then, we're only, 2 weeks, 3 weeks away from it, and it seems like, oh god, there's still so much to do. But after we run this one, because, really what's happened is our plan all along was to do a big 2-day event.
Yeah.
And we ended up, just because of the amount of work involved and, the limitations on our time and stuff, we ended up coming down to a 1-day event. So really for us, this is kind of a trial run, because we don't even know if our community is going to really embrace this style of tournament, because it's very different.
Yeah.
Like if you're a really hardcore competitive player or whatever,
it's going to be a bit of a...
Yeah, it's
still going to be fun.
It's a competitive event. There's going to be a winner.
Yeah.
There's going to be a winner.
Yeah.
But it's just not, like all of our tournaments are traditionally, it's just what we call best general. It's win, loss, draw. Those are the only points that affect the outcome. But this one is far from that.
Yeah.
Battle points from winning and losing, it's all based on your victory points.
Yeah.
And it's not that easy to get victory points.
No, I'm going to say it right now, I don't think anybody out of all the games we play on that day is going to get a full 12 victory points.
I doubt it.
It's almost impossible.
If we did our job
gimme
right,
ones are like, yeah, you can't get that if you're doing.
Well, yeah, if you're crushing the other guy, you're not getting that point.
Yeah, it's very hard. Yeah.
But there's other things that are going to contribute to the tournament winner. And what are those things?
Well, there's two major things, I guess. That's sportsmanship and painting.
And?
Oh, what was the last one?
It's not in front of you right here. You have to remember it. Should be listed right around here somewhere.
It's not composition.
It's theme.
Theme, yes. Okay.
Yep.
But we are only doing single factions, so...
Yep.
But I guess there's ways around not having a themed single faction list.
So there's going to be 4 things that go into your tournament score.
Yeah.
There's going to be your battle points, which are your victory points.
Yep.
There's going to be your painting score. There's going to be your theme score, and there's going to be your sportsmanship score.
Yeah.
So all of those things are going into it. And unlike all of the other tournaments that we've been to, I think, in Lord of the Rings, it's like the players will not be judging the painting.
No.
We will.
There's 3 of us.
Yeah. The 3 TOs are going to be judging the painting, and we have developed a matrix to help us and to make it fair and even across the board. So yeah, we are going to be scoring all of the armies based on a possible 5 points, and then those that actually get 5 out of 5 will be given a second round of judging to determine which army is best painted.
Yeah, because there is a best painted army.
So then our prizing. Okay, we have an overall winner
for the tournament.
For the whole tournament. Yeah, so it includes all those things we just talked about.
Yeah, it's not just army or battle points.
The person that gets the highest score on all of those added together.
Yeah, it's a true hobby event.
And then there'll be a second and a third place.
Yeah. There's also the best painted, which we just talked about. Best theme, which is voted on by the players.
Yeah, and that's my furnace that just came on, by the way, because it's now full here.
Yeah. The temperature went.
Yeah. So best painted, voted by the TOs.
Yep. Best theme, voted by the players, and best sportsmanship, also voted by the players.
Yeah.
And we've got like a system kind of set up for how the voting goes for that. And although it is possible for a single player to win multiple categories, they may only take home 1 prize.
That's right.
So we want to try and spread it out as...
So if you win overall, that's it.
Yeah.
That's enough
Which
for
is,
you.
yeah, that means you did the best out of everything.
Yeah. So sit down. You've got your prize. It's the top prize. That's it. Let someone else have, best painted or best theme or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah. So not giving away like massively huge expensive swords and model kits and all that in this tournament.
Prizes based on...
Yeah, there will be prizes and there will be awards.
Yep.
I hope if I can get them made in time. And then we have...
Oh, we have a special raffle prize.
Yes, we do.
We're going to be raffling off the new Theoden from the new starter box.
That's right. Plastic foot and mounted Theoden.
I was able to get one that someone didn't want. So, I know. It's like, what are you, crazy?
I know. I bought the entire box set just to get that model.
I had to beg, borrow, and almost steal to get it, but I got one. So, basically the way this is going to work is you can get your name entered for as many of the following as apply to you. For coming to the tournament, you get a ticket.
Hey, awesome.
Hey, look at that. So, just coming, you get a chance to win that awesome new model.
That's right.
You don't have to buy the whole box. If you prepay, which is very helpful to us,
it is.
You get 2 entries.
That way, like, if you prepay, it's like, I don't have to bankroll the entire thing. Hope that, please sign up for the tournament.
Having a fully painted army is worth another point, which most people should have.
You can come if you don't have a fully painted army, though. You're not going to win best painted, and you'll probably suffer a little on your painting score, which will affect your overall score.
Yeah,
but you're welcome to come without a painted army.
Yeah, come and have fun.
Yeah.
It's an event that's, you're playing weird missions, but it's a good way to learn the rules, because a lot of our tables have like stuff that you got a lot of climbing in a couple of them.
Yeah.
stuff
we're doing 2 hours per game too, so
Yeah.
it's a good long time because everyone's going to probably spend 15 minutes reading over and over again.
Yeah. So we've allowed extra time.
Yeah, and we have 3 TOs, and we know there's a couple of tables with a couple of missions that we're going to have to stand beside.
If we're standing beside it at the beginning of the game, you know why?
Yeah.
There is one more way to get a raffle ticket. It's presenting a typed army list to the TOs.
Yeah.
So either before or at the beginning of the day.
Yeah, so if you do like the army on a napkin, half an hour before you start playing,
or handwritten out before,
you won't get that one.
Yeah, we just want to have the army list to see so we can keep them for.
What if somebody does like a crazy scroll with hand calligraphy and all that? I think that should still get the point.
Yeah, there'll be some exceptions.
Yeah.
Just don't bring a tissue with scribble and crayon on it.
Okay, let's finish off our table assignment thing because we stopped talking about that for some reason at one point.
What was that?
We're not doing Swiss style.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna go back to that point now.
Yeah. So this has been a challenge for Andrew Brock.
Yeah.
One of his things to do was to find tournament software.
Because we don't want
that will do what we want it to do.
Yeah, we don't want people playing the same person or on the same table.
Right.
It's gonna be tough.
And then the third criteria is based on victory points.
Yeah.
Which is the third consideration. Oh, that didn't sound good. So the main thing is that you play a different person and on a different table every game. And lastly, play someone that has a similar amount of victory points as you do.
But that's the last consideration.
Yeah. And that's because, we want people to play as many of the missions that we've made as possible.
Yep.
Because that's the whole point of this style of event is the different missions and the thematic tables, and we're going to be really looking forward to getting feedback on them because, quite frankly, we've done our best to come up with interesting and fair missions, and we've play tested them all, but there's going to be problems.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. They always do with this kind of thing. But what we're asking is for the players to work your way through it. Mm-hmm. This is the intention of what we want to happen in the mission. Yes, you can call a TO over. I kind of made a joke about it in the tournament pack, but we will come over as TOs to help. But you know what? Try to figure it out, come to agreement first amongst yourselves. You know what the objective of the mission is and how it's supposed to be played.
Yep.
Just keep that in mind and come up with a fair ruling on it. That's all.
Yep.
So that's it. That's our mission, or that's our tournament. Canadian Shire. The long named event that finally has happened because we've had Canadian Shire around for years.
Almost after we started playing. We came up with
because right away, as soon as we got into it, we're doing a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So we came up with Canadian Shire, got artwork made for it, and started up a YouTube channel, a Facebook group, and all that kind of stuff. And then I got on the admin of the OSBGL, and it was I got no time for that.
Nope.
Yeah.
So we're running a tournament.
Yeah. So that's what happened was you had the ingenious idea.
Yeah.
It was your idea.
I know.
Because when we came up with this concept of this tournament, we're you know what, this is perfect for our name, Canadian Shire. So that's kind of the history of Canadian Shire.
We want it to be a staple every year.
We do.
We want it to be. We want people to want to come to our event and look forward to it every year because of the craziness of the missions and leave your super competitiveness at home. Come, have fun, throw dice.
If you come to this mission, you're going to play 4 out of the 10 missions. So there's still 6 that you're not going to play.
Exactly.
You may come and not get to play Pelennor Circus. Mm-hmm. And how devastating would that be?
That was the thing when we went to Astra all those years.
Yeah.
After the tournament was over, we'd sit down and we'd talk about our games. We'd be oh, did you play this mission? Oh no, I never got a chance to.
Yeah.
There are missions that after going to that tournament for 10 years, I'd still never played.
Yeah. And their tournament is in a different a different realm than ours in terms of size.
Yeah.
Because they're talking, you know, what back then it was, it was like 50 when I used to go to it. It's like probably more now in Toronto.
Yeah.
So we're talking about like 60 players, you know, 30 different tables, each one with its own mission. I mean, there's a lot of different crazy missions there. Yeah, so there you go. So you think we're going to get ready in time? Because we've only got 3 weeks and we still have quite a bit of stuff to do.
We're good.
Good? I think we're gonna make it.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna be scrambling a few things. We've already started asking more people if we can borrow terrain.
Yeah. It's like, hey, do you have this thing that I can borrow?
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, do you have this thing I can borrow?
Yeah.
Just because it's the time to get things done. We don't. Yeah. It's at the end and we're like scrambling, but we want to play test the missions and make sure they're working properly as our big priority. So.
Yeah, and we're almost there. I think like after we play test this, like do we even need to play test anything else after this one?
I think we've done everything else.
I think so too.
Or they're so close to the way that the base mission is played that we don't need to because it'll be.
Yeah, there's a few that are like really custom, and we've played those like a few times, like Pelennor Circus and
the Troll one.
That's the one I think actually we haven't play tested enough. But what was the Hobbit one called again? Scouring of the Shire. Scouring of the Shire. We played that one at least twice, at least.
We changed the way the table layout was based on our first two.
Yeah, and I think this one. Honestly, this one I think is going to go fine, so I think we'll be fine with 1 or 2 play tests down in Goblin Town. So, see how it goes though. You think it's good, and then you play it, and it's like, oh, that just totally doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nope. Start over. Back to the drawing board.
Dun 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 dun.
All right, so I guess that's it.
Yeah, we've talked for a long time.
That's it for our discussion on the Canadian Shire. It's happening on Saturday, November 4th in Newmarket, Ontario.
Yep. At the
Hui Hoi Cafe.
Cafe.
And it should be a lot of fun. Next year, hopefully going 2 days, and I don't think we'll be able to run it in the cafe.
No.
So we'll have to look for a bigger venue. But that's about it. Got anything else to say, or you want to talk about? Didn't talk about really the new rules or anything in this episode.
Everybody's already heard everybody else talk about.
There's just been like a ridiculous amount of YouTube
Everybody's
coverage.
got stuff out now, so.
Yeah, there really is.
We'll tell you how our second and first game of the new rules come out next time.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching, and don't forget to get your toy soldiers out and come and play some games with us at Canadian Shire in Newmarket on November 3rd.
Yep.
See you there.
See ya.